Welcome to AriLagi channel. Today we are flying out the YAK-1, and it's my favorite plane to fly, enjoyable and forgiving. If you are a new player to RB, this is my first video that I put on this setting. Please forgive me in advance, and I will try to make an improvement. If I got feedback from you guys, do let me know in the comments below. The YAK-1 is a Rank 2 Soviet fighter with a battle rating of 2.7 ABSB and 2.3 RB. It was introduced in Update 1.43. The YAK-1 is a fairly good turn fighter, although not as good as Spitfires around the same BR. It is better than some of the German aircraft. The aircraft has good diving speed and energy retention. However, without slats, it cannot outturn a Bf-109F in a vertical loop. This aircraft performs best at medium-low altitudes. Due to its small wings and poor rate of climb at higher altitudes, it is lacking as a high-altitude fighter. The aircraft can be used as a horizontal turn fighter, but one must be careful to be on the lookout for boom and zoomers. If the situation gets worse, a possible escape can be flying low level at high speed, or trying an energy-retaining climb. While this aircraft should not be wasted on a ground attack, as a last resort, it can be used to destroy unarmored ground targets. If the last flying opponent happens to be running away, the aircraft does perform well at lower speeds, yet it becomes very vulnerable to most enemy aircraft, including biplanes. Used well, the YAK-1 can be an unstoppable flying machine. Two of the most important things a YAK-1 pilot should aim for are the opponent's cockpit, pilot sniping, or wings. These are typically the weakest spots of an aircraft where a good shot can knock out the enemy pilot, or snap off a wing with a few well-placed rounds. The YAK is a fantastic 20mm cannon if the pilot's aim is good. This cannon has an excellent rate of fire. Unfortunately, it is paired with a barely adequate amount of ammunition, which can be used up quickly. Mounted alongside the YAK are two 7.62 craze machine guns. Much like the cannon, the machine guns do not have a large ammo pool to draw from. YAK-1 pilots always need to be mindful on how much ammo remains after an encounter or risk being pounced on by more maneuverable enemies when out of ammunition, or while reloading an AB. An Achilles heel of the YAK-1 is that it lacks armor protection. Head-on attacks from an enemy risk the pilot being knocked out by flying rounds, or the water coolant radiator being hit. With a leaking water radiator, the YAK-1 will suffer engine failure within a few minutes in RB mode. The engine of the YAK-1, like most Soviet fighter engines, tends to overheat quickly and stays running hot. One way to combat overheating is to run the engine at 97% of maximum, and limiting usage of WEP, manual engine control. MEC can be used to keep the YAK's engine running cool at 100% power, though this means that prop pitch, fuel mixture, and supercharger gears must be manually adjusted in addition to the radiators. In realistic mode, you can always use MEC while climbing, then switch back to automatic once you are dogfighting. If the aircraft is damaged, the YAK-1 pilot can check the cockpit's instrument panel and observe the oil temperature gauge, as this will give a more accurate state of the engine than the water temperature gauge. The wings of the YAK-1 are also vulnerable to enemy fire, being rather fragile and full of fuel tanks. The max speed of YAK-1 is 577 km per hour at 5,000 meters. Engine power at 100% is 1081 horsepower, and 1211 horsepower at War Emergency Power or WEP. Max altitude at 10,000 meters. Wing brake speed is 675 km per hour or -8 g, and +11 g, and only have landing flaps, and can be used on dogfight and fuse situation, but don't use it on high speed because it will break. Extended landing flap can be brake at 280 km per hour, but can be used wisely if you can toggle it to make sure not max extended to not let the flap breaks. The 20mm YAK cannon, nose mounted, have 110 rounds. The 20mm YAK cannon I recommended is tracer belt, because it have high explosive payload on every shot, and have damage potential on every type of plane on this BR. And the two 7.62mm craze machine guns, nose mounted, have 620 rounds per gun, and have 1240 total of rounds. The belt for two 7.62mm craze machine guns I recommended universal belt or stealth belt or tracer belt on this ammo type. It can carry 2 type of bombs, 250 kilograms Fab 50 bombs, 100 kilograms total, and 2 100 kilograms Fab 100 bombs, 200 kilograms total. Pros: highly maneuverable, good acceleration and top speed at low altitudes. Even though its frame is constructed of wood, the YAK can take a lot of punishment and still perform well. Powerful cannon with limited ammo, dual machine guns with an adequate amount of ammo. Cons: engine overheats quite easily, forcing the pilot to slow down. Engine is notorious for overheating at WEP. Operating the engine at 97% reduces chances for engine overheating, while maintaining very good aircraft performance. Elevator compresses at high speeds, so turning or pulling up in a dive can be a struggle. No armor to protect the pilot from the front engine or fuel tanks, almost doomed if set on fire. Wings are an easy target when trying to loop in a dogfight, and they almost always get hit. Cannon ammo runs out very quickly if not carefully monitored. In AB, reloading at every opportunity is advised. Single powerful gun requires good aim and knowledge of aircraft weak spots to be used effectively. Spray and pray causes ammo to deplete very quickly. Thank you guys for watching. I will be uploading next video very soon. Please help me with liking this video or subscribe to my channel. Have a great day and see you guys next time.